In this episode of the Hustleburg podcast, I had the opportunity to talk with the local realtor Brittany Ranew about her real estate business here in St. Pete. You may also recognize her as a fellow podcaster on the local podcast St. Pete Soul.
I won't be defined by your dreams, committed to my goals, yeah. Gotta do my own thing, keep up the hustling. I won't be defined by your dreams, committed to my goals, yeah. Gotta do my own thing.
Hi, welcome to Hustleburg. Thank you for sharing your time with us as we chat with entrepreneurs and small business owners here in St. Petersburg, Florida. We talk about how they got started, how they built their business, and how they serve our community. I'm Brett Bittner, and I'm the host of Hustleburg. And I started Beyond Your Side Hustle because I found that most entrepreneurs lack the time and expertise to build themselves a digital marketing strategy that gets results. At Beyond Your Side Hustle, we help you craft an awesome strategy to stand out from the competition and build a community that supports your business today and in the future. We help budding entrepreneurs go beyond their side hustle into the business they're dreaming of. As the founder of a small business here in St. Pete myself, I love meeting and talking with fellow business owners about what they do. Now, you may have noticed a few changes with the podcast lately, and one of the biggest is that we're now doing video. So if you're only listening to this episode, whether it's on your favorite podcast player, radiostpete.com, or Sunshine 96.7 FM, please note that this episode and all future episodes are available on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. Visit beyondyoursidehustle.com/YouTube to subscribe or to watch Hustleburg. And if you find anything of value in this episode, I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast. If you would, also please rate and review the episode as well. It sends us the right signals about knowing how the conversations added value for you. If you are interested in being a guest in an upcoming episode, and you own a business here in St. Pete or somewhere else nearby on this side of the bay, please let us know by visiting beyondyoursidehustle.com/podcast guest. So Brittany, why is real estate what you do?
I love serving people. And that's kind of the basis of why I got into it. I love the fact that I own my own business and I can kind of create whatever I want that to be. For me, kind of my why, what gets me out of bed in the morning is making an impact in people's lives in a positive way. And so I found that in real estate was an avenue for me to do that.
So a lot of people may not understand, and I feel like we may not have really gone full bore into explaining it when I had Trent Smith on in episode number 11. So what does it mean for you that you have your own business, even though you kind of see the overarching, agency or that you work through?
Yeah, we're all independent contractors. So, we do have creative control over how we want to conduct our business. The nice thing is, I'm with Premier Sotheby's International Realty, and I have such amazing support from them. So I get to use the marketing tools and stuff that they have, and it just complements my business really well. So, I just know I have that support team behind me. But at the end of the day, it's all on me. If I'm not out there networking, meeting people, generating business, it's not happening.
So who are the people that you're looking to serve through your real estate business? I know one of the things that I've seen is that you are a relocation specialist. So who is it that you're looking to serve here in the St. Pete market?
Yeah, I would say my ideal client would be that relocation client. I moved here from Alabama 5 years ago. So I know what it's like to pick up and move to a new city. We didn't know a soul when we moved here. So I totally get that vibe, and I love being that kind of the advocate and that resource for that person. So, they don't know the area, I'm going to explain in detail different things, what lifestyle choices they're looking for, the culture that we have here, and even things that, you just can't find online when you search, because I'm here on the ground. And any recommendations, restaurants, doctors, gyms, all that kind of stuff. I want to be that resource for that client. So it's kind of like I can be their everything. It's a one-stop shop. Whatever they need, I got it. So
So how was it you got started? It's not like you can just wake up one morning and say, boom, I'm in the real estate business. So give us a little bit of background, education, certification, and the like that really helped kind of launch you into this endeavor.
yeah, so I'm from Alabama originally, so I did get started in real estate there. There is a school certification course that you do have to go through. And then when we moved here in 2015, I took some time to kind of get to know the community and the market here. And so in April of 17, I got licensed for the state of Florida. So the nice thing is that was pretty easy transition. I had some additional schooling, but I didn't have to start over with that. So, it's, I think the real learning comes when you get out there in the field. You don't, I wish you could learn everything from the 60-hour course, but you definitely do learn a lot more when you get out there. So I've been in it 7 years total now. So I feel like I've learned a lot along the way.
So what is it that makes what you do special for people who are looking to relocate here to St. Pete?
I touched on this a little bit. Having moved here, I have that experience of what it feels like to move somewhere and not know a soul and just kind of have to start from scratch. I have overcome a lot of anxiety in my life. I've experienced that on a very real level. And I feel like kind of those experiences and how I've learned to cope with anxiety helps me in these situations with my clients, because buying or selling a home or relocating, I mean, that's one of the most stressful things you could do. And there's a lot of emotion around these decisions that they're making. So I think for me, I'm able to bring, just because I've had to work through that so much in my own life, I'm able to bring that level-headedness, that calmness, that positivity to the table so that they can, take a step back and make the right decision. So I'm there, I feel like I'm there navigating them through the process as that, captaining the ship, like keeping level head. There's a lot of nuances to it. And like I said, the emotional side of it. So just trying to keep everyone calm, keep calm and carry on. So
Sure. Now, it feels like every person that I speak with that's involved in the real estate business, whether we're talking about construction or remodeling or renovation or sales, they have a crazy story. So, what's the craziest thing that you've seen in or around a home that's for sale?
Something I would say the thing that sticks out is a couple years ago, I went on a listing appointment here in town, and the entire living room, like floor to ceiling, was covered in nude Marilyn Monroe photos.
All right.
I was like, just kind of taken aback when I walked in. So that one definitely stays in my brain. Now we did get all that removed before we listed the
Sure.
house. So
Now, what resources do you have at your disposal that help to guide you as you're building your real estate business?
There's a lot of awesome, technology and tools that I have access to, whether I found them or my company's, been able to provide, but I think what it comes down to is networking. You got to make those connections. All the technology, all that stuff is supplemental. It's really about the people. Like, if you got to get out there and meet people. So I would say community involvement that I've been in is a big piece of that. I serve on the board of the St. Pete Young Professionals, which is the young professionals arm of the chamber. And I served on the board the past 2 years, and that's been a great place for me to meet people and plug back into the community. So yeah, I would say that, a heavy focus on networking for sure.
Now, you take a look at all of the things that you've experienced in your business, I'm one who doesn't like to look at what other people will call a failure as such. I like to look at them as lessons. So what's the most important lesson that you've learned thus far in your business and building the real estate business that you have thus far?
It took me a long time to learn this, but not every client is a good fit.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say no to someone that's not a good fit. You know, I've tried really hard to be true to myself, be authentic, and portray that. And I think, you know, that phrase that your vibe attracts your tribe, you know, kind of thing. That's my mentality, is just, I'm going to be authentic to me and my brand, and I'm going to attract the right people to me. And if that person's not a good fit, it's okay. You know, it's not, at the end of the day, it's not about the money. It's about serving the right people. So. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned working with the young professionals as part of the chamber. What are some of the most inspiring things that you've worked on in the community? It can be in the community or at large, or something that's specific to the real estate services community bubble that you operate in.
You know, I would go back to the St. Pete Young Professionals, because I love the fact that, you know, that organization gives a voice to the young professionals in the community. You know, we have a seat at the table for these issues that are going on, and that, you know, committees are meeting on and making decisions about. We have a seat at the table there, and they actually take our, you know, they actually listen to us. Like, we've put together, you know, letters of recommendation or not on certain issues and helped to get things passed, including the rapid bus transit system is one recently that we had a big part in to advocate for. So, you know, I think that's a really big part of it. You know, young people are the future of any city. So, you know, our voices need to be heard. And then also, you know, community service is a part of the organization too. So specific things that we're doing, you know, charity events, or, you know, Kind Mouse is the organization that kind of jumps out in my head that we worked with before.
So how is it that you're building your brand to make Brittany the choice for those who are seeking to buy or sell their Pinellas County home?
You know, I think social media is a really good tool. And with social media, it's all about consistency. So, you know, you got to show up every day online and engage in the platform that you're on. So, you know, kind of creating that brand awareness is my overall like goal with that. And another piece of that would be my podcast, I would say. I started a podcast. It's called St. Pete Soul. And I think that's another avenue for me to get my brand out there.
So tell me a little bit more about St. Pete Soul, how it factors into your work, who listens, and who are your guests?
Yeah, so my thought behind that is it's called St. Pete Soul. So I believe that local businesses are the heart and soul of our community. That's where that name came from. You know, being in real estate, I'm always asked like, oh, well, where's a good restaurant to go to? Or, you know, all those types of questions. And so it just kind of like was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, well, I'm kind of seen as a local expert. So this is a fantastic way for me to showcase that, and in turn help support our local businesses, because they're what makes St. Pete special. I mean, that's why people move here. They move here because they hear how cool St. Pete is. We have all this stuff to offer, arts and culture, food scene, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, it's really important to showcase that and to keep St. Pete special in that way. So, you know, I honestly just go into local places and, you know, talk to the owner. And I haven't had any, and of course, you know, I know some of these people too beforehand, but I haven't had anyone be like, oh no, I don't want to be on it. You know, it's like, they think it's fun, and it's really, really fun for me too.
Awesome. You know, that's one of the things that I've found as I've been interviewing small business people here in St. Pete for a year plus now. It's a fantastic way to get to know people in the area, get to know, you know, form some partnerships and friendships where you're going to be able to really, you know, help them and they're going to be able to help you. It's a really nice reciprocal relationship.
Yeah, you know, my thought is, I feel like when you know the owner of a business, and when there's some kind of emotional connection there, it makes the experience at that place so much more special. So that's kind of the cool part, is I'm telling that business owner's story, and then the client, the customer can walk in and feel like they're a part of it somehow and they're connected. So it just further like builds that sense of community, which is really, really important. And I think people that move here find that it's very easy to plug into St. Pete, and our community is awesome.
So in your wildest dreams, where is it that you want to take your real estate business, and what are you doing toward getting you there?
I kind of see all of this working together as a whole. I don't really compartmentalize like real estate, podcasts, all that. I'm also a writer, so I have a goal to publish a book one day as well. So I kind of see all that working together as my personal brand. I would love for all of that to grow to where I'm bringing on team members to help me, continue to support with real estate transactions, with doing the podcast, anything like that. Is from a goal standpoint, year over year, I've set, lofty goals like doubling my business, things like that. And I'm proud of myself that I've been able to, keep on track with that. So I would say ultimately to be, seen as a top producer, in our market. I mean, that would be my ultimate goal.
Now, I imagine that when we're looking at how you work in and on your business, yours is going to be a little more unique than some of the other entrepreneurs that I talk to. So how much would you say that you're working in your business of the day-to-day versus on your business to develop and grow toward that goal of being a top producer here in St. Pete?
Yeah, I do keep to a schedule. That's really important. I mean, when you own your own business and you're at home primarily, like, you got to do something schedule wise. Otherwise, you're just going to flounder around. So, I do keep to a routine. I have a gratitude journal, personal development, reading, things like that I do in the morning. So I do structure it to where I'm working, on my business in the morning and in my business in the afternoon. Okay. Most of the time, people want to see property in the afternoon and evening. Not always the case, but that's more likely. So it makes sense to do the administrative type stuff, the marketing stuff in the morning, and then have all my showings in the afternoon, and then of course, weekends as well. But it's real estate. It changes by the second. So you got to be ready to adapt it too.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you're from Alabama. What part of Alabama are you from, and what brought you here to St. Pete?
Yeah, I'm from Mobile, Alabama. So
Okay.
Gulf Coast, used to these crazy hurricanes and all that fun stuff. So my husband got a job opportunity here, and we're
Okay.
both born and raised Mobile, all of our families there. And, it was just too good of an opportunity to pass up. And we just took that leap of faith. Like I said, didn't know a soul, and we moved. I mean, it was, not going to lie, it was a rough transition, for sure, but well worth it that we, powered through and made our new lives here, and we just fell in love. So.
Awesome. Now, when you and your husband aren't working, what are some of your favorite things to do in and around St. Pete?
We do like the outdoors. We love to kayak, go to the beach, play tennis, that kind of stuff. We have 2 golden retrievers, so they do like the water. So we do take them down to the water sometimes. I live in Pinellas Point, so it's just a short 5-minute walk down to the waterfront park, and you can see the Skyway. So we'll take the dogs down there, just about every day. We are huge Rays fans. So okay. During baseball season, it's like all Rays all the time. So we're going to games. Of course, this year was a little different, so we were glued to our TVs instead of going to the stadium. But yeah, so that's, big Rays fans. I'm a Disney pass holder. I've been a Disney fan for most of my life. So anytime I can get over to Disney as well, which I, usually a couple times a year do that. So yeah, those are all fun things.
Now, I know that you've had the opportunity to visit a lot of the local businesses as you've talked to the business owners. What are some of your favorite ones that you like to support? This is an awesome opportunity to just kind of give a shout out, especially when you have the relationship that you've developed with some of your fellow small business owners here locally.
Well, if you know me, I'm obsessed with Craft Cafe. So
Okay.
you can probably find me there most of the time. I'm gluten free, so having a place that's 100% dedicated gluten free is like my heaven. So he was episode 4 of the podcast, which was a really fun one to do. So yeah, definitely a craft cafe a lot. Book and Bottle is another really great place. I love wine, and it's also a bookstore. I mean,
Okay.
like those are two fantastic things, wine and books. And she has coffee too, so you can kind of, do whatever you would like there. So those are definitely two places I'm at often. Um, Intermezzo, I love their cocktails. Baber Brewing is a relatively new brewery close to my house in the Warehouse Arts District. That's really a great place.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
actually opened right as we were going through a lot of the COVID
Mhm.
19 shutdowns. I think they opened a couple days before, and I had the opportunity to talk with James way back at the beginning of the economic shutdowns in the St. Pete Open for Business series that we did
Yeah,
back in April and May.
yeah. I mean, talk about crazy. You're planning to open your business, and literally the same day the country's getting shut down.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could list probably a million places, but those are definitely ones that jump out right away. So.
So, Brittany, where can people find out more about your real estate listings, connect with you, listen to the podcast? Let's get it all out there. Let's hear the website, social media handles, and all of that.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. So it's all centered around my name. So
Okay.
it's BrittanyRanew.com. I'm at Brittany Ranew Realtor on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. My personal Instagram is at Brittany Ranew. It's like pretty easy to find me if you just like Google the name. And of course, all my listings would be on my website, BrittanyRanew.com as well.
And the good news is for people who are watching or listening, these are all in the show notes. They're all going to be clickable. And so if you didn't have a chance to write any of that down, don't worry. You'll be able to find it at the bottom or in the notes if you're listening. Brittany, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today and share the story that you have with the Hustleburg community.
Thank you so much. This was so much fun. I appreciate it.
Hey, you did it. You've just listened to Hustleburg. If we provided you with something of value with this podcast, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and review on your favorite podcast player, especially you Apple Podcast listeners. This is something that only takes a few seconds, and it will help us shine the spotlight on all the great businesses that St. Pete has to offer and grow the Hustleburg community. Speaking of great businesses here in St. Pete, if you're a small business owner and you'd like to share the story of your business with the Hustleburg community, please let us know by visiting beyondyoursidehustle.com/podcast guest. Did you know that at Beyond Your Side Hustle, we're helping small business owners reach ideal engagement on any social media platform with a free 3-week training by email? It's available at beyondyoursidehustle.com/3weeks. Start right now to learn how you can fix your feed to better serve you, start engaging on social the right way, and create a community around you and your business. The opening music in this episode is Defining Your Dreams by my friend Rhymer Educator. I encourage you to check him out on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you listen to great music. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to continuing to share with you how we do business in the Burg.